Consistency is not driven by emotion. It is driven by reason. The Stoics understood this clearly. They did not trust motivation, because motivation is unstable. They trusted discipline, because discipline obeys reason. You do not show up because you feel like it. You show up because it is what must be done. That is consistency. Most people wait for desire to act. The Stoic acts without negotiating with desire. Feelings change. Principles remain. Consistency is not an act of enthusiasm. It is an act of loyalty to your values. When you commit to a practice, you are not committing to a result. You are committing to a process that is within your control. The Stoics divided life into two categories. What is within your control, and what is not. Results are not fully within your control. Effort is. Consistency is the discipline of focusing only on what belongs to you. You wake up. You perform your duty. You do not ask whether it will pay off today. You ask only whether you acted correctly. This removes anxiety, because anxiety comes from trying to control outcomes. The Stoic does not concern himself with visible progress. He concerns himself with correct action. If improvement comes, it comes. If recognition comes, it comes. Neither is required for consistency. Most people abandon consistency because they expect immediate feedback. The Stoic accepts delay without complaint. Nature itself works this way. Nothing valuable grows overnight. Nothing strong is formed quickly. The Stoics observed nature closely and modeled their discipline after it. A river shapes stone not through force, but through persistence. Consistency is this persistence. You repeat the same action, not because it excites you, but because it aligns with who you choose to be. This repetition does not weaken the mind. It strengthens it. Every time you act in accordance with reason, you reinforce your character. You become predictable to yourself. This is important. A Stoic seeks reliability within, not praise from without. When you are consistent, you reduce inner conflict. There is no debate each morning. There is no argument with the self. You simply do what is required. This simplicity creates peace. Most people suffer not because life is hard, but because they are inconsistent. They desire progress but avoid repetition. They desire mastery but avoid discipline. The Stoic does not complain about repetition. He embraces it. Repetition is how virtue is trained. Courage is trained by repeated acts of restraint. Discipline is trained by repeated refusal. Wisdom is trained by repeated observation. Consistency is moral training. It is not glamorous. It is not dramatic. It is quiet, often invisible. That is why it is powerful. The Stoics never aimed to impress. They aimed to improve. You do not need intense effort. You need steady effort. Excess leads to burnout. Deficiency leads to stagnation. Consistency finds the middle path. Do enough. Do it regularly. Do it without complaint. When fatigue comes, adjust the effort, not the commitment. This distinction matters. Many people mistake exhaustion as a reason to quit. The Stoic sees exhaustion as information, not instruction. Rest when needed. Return when able. Do not abandon the practice. Consistency does not mean pushing endlessly. It means returning repeatedly. That is wisdom. Over time, the mind adapts. What once required discipline becomes habit. What once felt forced becomes natural. At this stage, consistency no longer feels heavy. It becomes identity. You are no longer trying to be consistent. You simply are. This is when external circumstances lose power over you. Success or failure no longer dictate your behavior. Praise or criticism no longer shifts your path. You act because it is right. That is Stoic freedom. Freedom is not doing whatever you want. Freedom is not being ruled by impulse. Freedom is obedience to reason. Consistency builds this freedom slowly, day by day, action by action, without spectacle. Most people want transformation. The Stoic wants alignment. Transformation chases appearance. Alignment shapes substance. When alignment is strong, outcomes take care of themselves. You cannot lose when your measure of success is simply whether you acted with discipline. Even setbacks lose their sting. Failure does not discourage the Stoic. It instructs him. Missed days do not destroy consistency, unless you allow them to. You return without drama, without self-punishment, without excuses. This calm return is strength. Consistency is not perfection. It is persistence without emotion. The Stoic does not shame himself for weakness. He corrects it quietly. Each day is a new opportunity to act correctly. Nothing more is required. If the world notices, that is incidental. If the world ignores you, that is irrelevant. Your responsibility is to the work itself, to perform it well, to perform it often, to perform it regardless of mood. This is how character is built. And character, to the Stoic, is the only true possession. Everything else can be taken. Consistency protects what cannot be taken. So remain steady, not because it feels rewarding, not because it feels meaningful today. Remain steady because it is right. And over time, this quiet obedience to reason will shape your life more reliably than any burst of motivation ever could. That is Stoic consistency.